regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees to order with Mr. Richard will be prayer and pledge for us. You stand, Dan.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this wonderful group of people around me. Thank you for the sunshine that we've had. Please take care of us next couple days with weather coming in. Pray for our men and women overseas, protecting us, bring them home safe. Please guide our hearts and our minds with all the decisions we make tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jared. Okay, this could be a surprise. 94 minutes, including executive session certification.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cunningham.
I make a motion to approve the minutes, including the executive session certification as presented, sir.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Ms. Miller. Okay. Got a motion made by Chris Cunningham, properly seconded by Susan Miller. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Danny, I forgot you.
Aye.
You know how face up there. Okay. 95 Indian Academy Summer School Swimmers.
Thank you. In your packet tonight was a brief description of this summer's activities. As you can tell, we just keep increasing, and we're hoping our goal this year is 1,300 students. And each one of these are intentional programs that really help students. iRead is a state mandate that'll start immediately after school's out. Indian Jumpstart is kind of our usual Indian Academy. We pushed it to the end of the summer with hoping that because of COVID, we can have all of our students in person to participate in that program. Tribe Time SEL program is a grant that we had written that you were well aware of. We have 56 students in that and 11 teacher mentors. And part of the grant was that they would finish in the summer with some activities. And we gave you kind of a brief look at what they're going to be doing, but there'll be a full presentation at the end of summer school. SAT Jumpstart is new this year. As many of you know, SAT is a huge part of the new graduation requirements, which we talk a lot internally with our leadership team of teachers and administrators. We're not sure that any of us would have been high school graduates in today's world with all the requirements that they're putting on students, but we're going to make this a fun learning tool for students. We went clear to the 7th grade and show them all kinds of different strategies that they can use to help prepare for that test. It's twofold. That gives them opportunities to look at higher level questioning in a fun atmosphere. And we are actually going to work with them on benchmarks so we reward kids for individual growth. Virtual high school credit opportunities, we've done that in the past using our Acellus platform. Last year, we had about 115 credits earned. Our goal this year is to have more students where they can explore classes that you can't always offer in schools our size, and we work with kids and parents one-on-one for that. Credit recovery are for our angels that may not have been as successful during the school year as they should have been, so they have that opportunity to recover those credits. And I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions?
Just looks exciting.
We need a motion on this.
Not at this time. We will bring you the personnel costs in May, probably the second meeting, if not the first of May, and that would obviously require a vote.
That's what
But this time, I think it's just an informational.
Okay. Why?
item.
Thanks, Mr. McKenzie. I was a little nervous on my first presentation.
Well, there was no place for it, I don't have no mistakes, but I'll make sure I wasn't looking over. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, I guess I did have one, so. Okay, 96, summer 2021 meal plan schedule, Tad.
Yes, we provided in your packet the recommended schedule by Mrs. Warwick in terms of food service for this summer. That will not be a pickup program as last summer. That'll be an in-person program. And so Mrs. Warwick is with us tonight. I can see her wonderful, pleasant face on the screen. So she's here for any questions, or any of us will try to answer any questions you might have about that summer schedule.
I'll make a motion to approve the summer meal plan schedules presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor by Chris Cunningham, second by Jared Richards. Are there any questions or comments? Not that we all looked at this, so not, we're hurry. We have to be hopefully to be back in school. So, there you go. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Denny? Denny?
Aye, sorry.
It's got to unmute.
Turn TV down. Okay, opposed? Motion carries. Ms. The board cannot go. I appreciate the gesture. She said-
Yeah, they see their cookies, Mrs. Warwick. Somebody said that you provided them. I said, well, Mr. Gaskin kind of provided them, but
I do that every meeting I come, wants to know where his cookies are.
There'll be some extra paycheck next time, fine. Thank you very much, appreciate that.
Glad you enjoy them.
We will. Okay, let's move on to item 97, food truck presentation. Ms. Winters again.
It would be very, I would be very disappointed in myself if I tried to explain the process and the opportunity we're bringing to the board in what I consider a very unique and awesome partnership with the Grant County Co-op. So I'm going to turn it over to the individuals that have worked very hard on this, and also thank Ted and Jill for all the meetings that they've had in getting this in place. So Amanda and Lisa, would you please make this presentation?
Absolutely. Let me pull up the slideshow we have for you. Okay. First of all, I just want to say, this has been a dream for us for a while. Mrs. Winter and I have talked about the possibility of having a food truck in our district for years. So we'll tell more about her part with the co-op and how her dream started, and it just kind of happened that we aligned together. So we're so excited of what this could mean for our whole community, really, not just our district, to have this partnership and be able to have this dream come to reality. So I'll speak first for our school district, what it can mean. Does everybody see the slides okay? Just making sure.
Yes. Yes.
What would a food truck mean for our district? First of all, we know we live in an area that is high free and reduced, and we always have really successful summer meal programs. And I feel like this would only make our program better. For those kids that might not be able to get to our schools, we'd be able to get to them. And we've always brainstormed about how we could do that. And this is the perfect way. And not only does it make us mobile, but it makes it fun. We want kids to enjoy eating our food. And I think, school food has always had this stigma about it not being good, but each year we strive to work to make it healthy and inviting and a place where the kids want to eat. And, having a food truck driving to the park with free meals in the summer, I think that will bring a whole new look to what we're doing. And really get more kids involved and wanting to eat with us. So, not putting that stigma on going into the cafeteria, but having that fun atmosphere of a food truck. So it's going to help us with food insecurity in our entire community. It'll help alleviate some of just hunger in our area. Some of these pictures that I put on this slide show, us standing out in the cold in the pandemic, handing out meals. If we'd had a truck to help deliver some of those meals or be at different points where people could pick up, that would have been amazing. We did a free fruit and veggie giveaway for our Boomerang backpack kids during the pandemic. And it was really hot. So if we'd had, the cold storage of a food truck to keep our fruits and veggies for that would have been awesome. And of course, hopefully we never have to do emergency feeding ever again, but to have something where we could be mobile and reach more people would have just been amazing. So there's lots of positives that a food truck would bring to our district and our whole community, and I think there will be lots more opportunities once we if we're able to get it and just grow the program. So our next slide, I'll hand over to Lisa about the co-op.
Thank you. Well, my dream for a food truck was one that started several years ago with the intention of finding job opportunities for students before they graduate from high school. Because you'll see on the slide, 17% of people that leave school and are living adult lives with disabilities work. Only 17%. The rest of those the rest of those adults are either sitting at home or in a group home or possibly a day service facility where they're basically working puzzles and doing non-vocational kinds of opportunities. So we want to give our students an opportunity to have a variety of skills so that they can become employable. So we have a program at Indiana Wesleyan University, and it's for students that have graduated from high school, but according to the law are still able to receive services through the public school system. So those students ages 18 to 22 are the particular students we're targeting. However, we want to offer these kinds of pre-vocational opportunities for life skills classes, and then possibly other students who have IEPs but maybe are on a non-certificate or on a non-diploma track, on a certificate track, so that they can also have employability skills. So after talking to Leslie one day in the summer, we both realized that we were kind of talking about the same dream. So from there, we connected with Amanda and Jill and then Ted to talk about what this would look like. So with that, I think the next slide shows you a few pictures of what this food truck might look like. I visited a site in northern Indiana, and we've also talked to them through a virtual meeting. And these are just a few pictures of what it could look like. The back will be handicap accessible, so if a student were not fully ambulatory, they'd be able to get up in the back of the truck as well.
Thanks, Lisa. And the committee that's been working on this project for quite some time now. I mean, really, even during the pandemic, Mrs. Winters, Mrs. Townsend, Mr. Gosser, myself, and Mrs. Graham. So there's just a slide about the funding, how we would plan on paying for this. We have some grants. Lisa obtained a grant from the Bourne Foundation for the co-op. I obtained a grant from No Kid Hungry for Miss Sinwall Community Schools. There's a Miss Sinwall Part B special ed grant, and then the remainder there was funds from the Miss Cinema Operations Fund. So what's next? We're bringing this to you tonight, hopefully for your approval on the purchase of the truck. And once we, if we're able to get that, then we move forward with the MOU with the co-op, and then we contact the Prestige Food Truck Company, and they will start production of the truck. Of course, with COVID, you know, our timeline is getting pushed back of when it's going to be complete, but the last we spoke with them, they thought that we would have delivery of the truck hopefully fall of 2021. So at that point, then we would train our staff and our students who will work on the truck to make sure we have someone well trained on food safety if we're serving food at any event. We do have to have health department of Grant County come inspect and make sure we are ready for operation. And then hopefully by spring of 2022, we could have some soft opening events to make sure everything's working and the students, you know, would have a smaller crowd to start operations, and then hopefully full use by the summer of 2022. So we're really excited about this, and we hope that you are too. So do you have any questions for us?
I had a question.
Mhm.
Can you hear me all right, Amanda and Lisa?
Yeah.
So on manning the truck and that part of it, who has the Serve Safe license? Is that that's going to be there with them during that time?
Right now, I'm Serve Safe certified, and all of my managers are. And I talked to Lisa also about, you know, who her staff might be that might go ahead and get certified too if one of us weren't there. But I do think that's important.
Okay. I didn't know if it was required or not. That's why I was asking.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is required that someone be Serve Safe certified who is in charge of the truck. But I think for best practices, it's good if you're serving food to have someone there on the truck that is.
Okay.
What about the driver? That's, I mean, who's gonna, is that gonna be the person in charge basically? Is that your plans, or how you gonna staff that?
Yeah, they say, I haven't driven one yet, but anyone is allowed to drive this truck. It's not like an oversized vehicle or anything. So we would have to find out from our staff who would feel comfortable. And then hopefully Ted's going to give us lessons.
Ted.
Ted, maybe we could hire Ted to be
Ted
the
might do it if he gets to wear one of those cool hats. Like he'd get it, yeah.
This is a process to get their CDLs from you.
No, you can't steal my work.
Future bus driver program.
Any other questions? I might add one thing. We asked both Mrs. Graham and Mrs. Warwick to give a quote for a press release that I'm sure we're going to get front page coverage of from the Chronicle.
If you would like to turn around and look at the
I was so moved by both of their commitment to students and community. And I can see this being something really exciting where these students would be at some of the big football events at all the county where they're working and showcasing what they've learned. And I can see where we have problems getting students in because of their age in the summer and the weekends for food. Amanda and her staff have already proven how committed they are, but I can see that food truck all over our school district delivering those kinds of service. But be patient with us because, as you know, we got a lot to learn. We got a lot to work through, but I do want to read one thing that I said. I believe this is an example of two entities working together to provide services to benefit the needs of many students. Mrs. Centerville Community Schools is thankful for partnerships that encourages inclusiveness and a commitment to improving students' lives and learning environments. I'm really proud of the work this committee did.
Exciting stuff.
So you don't have a price yet, or you truck driver?
We're not gonna tell you till after you vote.
That's kind of where I was going with that.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
Jill can, both of them can speak to that. Jill's on here. And she was definitely a main part of the committee because of this. So whichever one of the three want to speak to it.
Nobody does.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No, the grand total of the truck was around $400,000. Lisa, do you have the exact amount?
We're not used to you making a joke.
Hey, bean counters aren't supposed to be funny.
That was really good. That was very straight face.
I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna get to start.
The amount is approximately, and I should have that in front of me. I do not. It's approximately $150,000, slightly less. See, we go for the bargain.
Yes, and
It's brand new though. Brand new.
and we did, as they mentioned, we did get grants in, and we do have some money left in our special ed account, and so the operations fund will pick up approximately $50,000 of that. On top of that, we'll have about $1,800 in insurance costs.
You're comfortable with that as our business manager?
Yes, I am.
All right, that's for sure. Anybody, any other questions? What's the board's pleasure?
We recommend approval as presented.
We're not knocking out for 400,000, remember that.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the food truck presentation as presented.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor made by Conrad Herrera, seconded by Mike Crouch on the food truck presentation. Are there any other questions or comments? Well, it's gotta be a great thing, I would think, it's definitely needed in the community, and I'm word's going around, I'm sure it'll catch on. And what they do in the summertime, getting to hand out food, I'm sure it'll be an asset to the community as it's rolling, so. Saying that, I got a motion made, probably seconded. No other questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Danny,
Yes, sir. I agree. That's awesome.
opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Nice job, everyone up there.
Just one other thing, I thought, are we gonna get a vehicle wrap for that? Because I thought,
Yeah.
that thing looked pretty plain compared
Yeah,
to.
we're gonna work together with the co-op and the child nutrition department. They'll come up with something that's really
Okay.
student-centered and represents this partnership.
We're working for cookies. I think McDowell will be for peanuts. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 98 digital service resale plan, Leslie.
Yes, we have two great leaders here tonight that is going to explain that resale process. And again, it would be embarrassing on my part to try to take their thunder. So Mr. Fleming and Mr. Jeffries.
I hope you guys know how excited we are about the refresh and what it will do academically for our students and our community. But along with that, it provides us an opportunity to provide our older devices to our community and to our parents to purchase. So just as we did 3 years ago, we are having a pre-sale so that right now our staff and our students are able to secure one of these devices. So at the end of the year, if they pay for this device over the next few weeks, at the end of the school year, they will be able to keep their devices. And then after that, we will open up for our community. So our windows are, as of right now, we've already sent out emails to all of our staff members and all of our students, 6 through 12. We know that's our student population who's checking their emails every day. The younger elementary students will receive this week, they will have a form and a letter along with it, providing an opportunity for those parents to purchase their devices. We have a 1-to-1 ratio of devices to students, so those students, even though they're younger, will still be able to get the ones that they use every single day. This opportunity lasts until May 7th, and at that time that's a Friday, that following Monday is May 10th, and at that time we will allow our community to pre-sale any devices that we have remaining. Their window of opportunity will expire on May 21st. And we're ending it a little bit earlier this year than we did 3 years ago, because we want to take those remaining devices that don't get sold locally and get those to a reseller. And the earlier we get them, the higher value we will get for them. So we are hoping on May 27th, we will be able to give all the rest of our devices to a reseller, and that way we'll get the most for that. And we will help get those devices to the community who purchased those. And on June 16th, anybody who hasn't picked up their device will have a place. We haven't talked actually about a location. Last time we did this, we did it at the high school auxiliary gym, but we will have a location. And I guess it depends on how many we have to give out still at that time for them to pick it up by June 16th if they haven't received it already. But it's a great opportunity. So again, not only the academic piece that we get to refresh our devices and keep current technology in the hand, but what a wonderful opportunity for our community, including staff, students, and community members. So I know you already have information in front of you as far as pricing, but thanks for this opportunity. It makes us look good because we give a good value. Our students take such good care of their devices that we are giving a device that's in good shape to our community at a very good price. So it makes us look like heroes. But it's actually the entire school corporation that really shines. But we're able to answer any questions that you might still have over our plan.
Could you get an idea of what the price we have there? Say the Mac 11 and Mac Air 11 inch. You sell for $300. What would that cost somebody new? I guess is what I'm trying to.
The resellers are going to turn that around and sell that for $400.
But if they went and just
wouldn't want
purchased
one.
it brand new.
Brand new is what.
And with the software on it.
Hey, Stephen, do you remember?
Yeah, the retail cost for those used to be $700.
So
But you
And a
got
couple
software.
$100 in software.
Yeah.
It's a great buy.
Well, I mean, a lot of people may not know when you see that. Well, it's a lot of money, but I mean, it's just so it's a good buy, yeah.
So I had a question, Bruce, really not so much on this, but then the transition to the new device.
Yes.
So, because we've got summer school and things of that, how soon after that then do you transition into the new devices?
Yeah, well, and we still need to work that out specifically. I know last 2 or 3 years ago, the students who attended summer school, we allowed to keep their devices. But we've not really come up with a final decision on that.
Right now, we don't have a firm date that the iPads are going to be shipped. And we're getting them in every day. And Bruce is working with them. We hope to change them out as soon as possible and that the students are using their new devices for summer school, because the longer we hold these devices, the less value in resale we get.
Okay, that's what I was worried
Yes.
about, is that, because
So-
I'm a kid, I want to say, I don't want to buy mine, maybe I don't have
Right.
the money,
Right.
but now I'm going to summer school and I don't have a device.
Yeah,
So,
they will have a device.
okay,
And
all right,
it's,
okay,
it's our hope that it is the new device,
okay,
because if we can turn these old devices in, by the end of May,
Okay.
we get a higher resale value.
okay, thanks.
Anybody else got any questions on that? So summer school's a little later, right? Is that what you're planning?
Some of, I read 3, because the state mandate
Okay.
will be earlier. Jumpstart is a later, Tribe Time is earlier, but it's not as many students that are involved in it. And then everything else is later, except credit recovery goes all summer long. But our secondary students, they're more familiar with all type of devices.
Okay.
So we don't have as big a learning curve with secondary as we do elementary.
Anyone else, any questions or comments?
Just want to thank Bruce and Stevens for all the hard work on that,
Yes.
'cause that is a big boon for our community if they get a chance to do that, and the kids to be able to maintain and keep that technology. I can remember stories before about some parents never that had ever had one, and now the opportunity to be able to use that with their child is just awesome.
Yeah, our phone is ringing off the hook. We have people anticipating because they know we've already approved the refresh. So we're getting people calling every day, hey, save one for me. Don't let one, don't send it back without talking to me first. They want it.
This doesn't require a motion, right?
We didn't think so. I mean, we can if you want, but basically, conceptually, you approved selling the devices when you approved the purchase of the new devices. And the plan is almost identical with 3 years ago. First, we're selling to students and to staff, and then we're selling to students and parents, and then we're selling to community, all on timelines. And then once the timelines are over, we're selling it to a company that will buy them from us. And we got a good deal from them 3 years ago, and we opened it up for bids and proposals, and we got a good proposal, and we think we'll get what we're kind of asking for, looking for. So I feel like you've already really approved the concept, but if you want to vote,
What do you think we do, right?
no.
That way, everybody come to that. Let's just go ahead and make a motion.
Mr. Gaskin, can I add just one thing before you vote?
Sure.
This is, as you know, Mr. Fleming's retiring. And imagine if you're a young person like Mr. Jeffries, knowing that a person's retiring that has worked about 24 hours a day for most of the week, and you're doing a changeover in devices and so forth. But the support that Bruce is giving during this transition time is just unbelievable. Comments I hear him say when I'm going, okay, who's going to do this, this, and this? Hey, we're going to get it done. I'm not going to leave you hanging, Stephen. You're capable. You're good. You can do it. So thanks, Bruce. We appreciate that during the transition.
You can't tell how excited Mr. Fleming is about retirement unless he takes.
I see a smile on his face.
Eyes are smiling.
You can see it in the eyes sometimes, even with the mask.
Once again, I think just to be safe, we go ahead and somebody make a motion on this and then approve the resale plan.
Mr. President,
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the digital device resale plan 2021 as presented.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
I got Jared first one, so.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's in the family.
Mr. Smith's trying to get in there, so you better think about it the next time.
The next one's yours.
We'll get him on 99.
No, I'm fine.
Any questions or anything? Questions or comment? Okay.
Good.
I got a motion, to we approve the plan for digital service resale plan for 2021 seems, made by Conrad Herrera and second by Jared Richards. Ready for more comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5, Danny?
Aye.
Okay, sorry. It carries. Okay, that's good. Okay, 99, COVID 10-day reinstatement for second semester, 2020, 2021 for all employees. Mr. McKenzie.
Yes, and I've discussed this with the board in the past, particularly in this semester, that we were wanting to do that. We were just kind of waiting on the money to make sure that our COVID relief money came in. And we got the second round notification about a month ago, and we got the third round just last week. So I think this is important. This was in place because of legislation in the first semester, and that ran out on December 31st. But in the first semester, we provided all employees, whether they had leave days or not, 10 days if it was a COVID-related absence and documented. So hated to see that given up in the second semester because we were still dealing with COVID issues, particularly in January. It was, one of the bad months, November, December, January. Has gotten better in February and a little bit better in March and maybe a tick better than in April. Things are getting better countywide and in our school district when it comes to COVID cases and quarantines, but we would like to reinstate those 10 days for the second semester on your approval. So that would be our recommendation. Denny?
Denny, did you hear that?
I heard it.
You want to make a
Hey,
motion?
Mr. President,
It's Denny.
I would like to make a motion to approve the 10-day reinstatement plan for second semester.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'm still down here.
Yeah.
Way down here.
Way down.
Okay, we got a motion on the COVID 10-day reinstatement made by Denny Smith, second by Susan Miller. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Denny? I guess-
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Motion carries. All right, personnel, Mr. McKenzie.
Yes, we have the following personnel items for the board's consideration this evening. Alex Rice has resigned as a cafeteria worker at Westview Elementary effective April 20th of 2021. Daryl Davis has resigned as a middle school virtual teacher assistant effective at the end of the 2021 school year. Melanie Weitzel has resigned as a speech teacher effective at the end of the 2021 school year. Kent Cocking has resigned as a guidance counselor at Mississinawa High School effective at the end of the 2020-21 school year. We also have the following new hires, and I think maybe all three
All three of them are on.
with us virtually tonight. And I hope I pronounce this correctly. Brody Lefevre to be hired as an elementary counselor effective for the coming school year 2021-22. All three of these are for the next school year 2021-22. Christopher Shively to be hired as an elementary technology integration coach. Ben Huntington to be hired as the high school physics and engineering teacher effective, all three, as I said, for the 2021-22 school year. So we would recommend approval of these personnel items as presented this evening.
Mr. President,
Mr. Crouch.
I move that we accept the personnel items as presented.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Rivera. Okay. Got a motion made by Mr. Crouch, seconded by Mr. Herrera, that we approve personnel as presented. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Denny?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
If we could just have
Yeah.
everyone come live that was just hired and just introduce yourself to the board and just a short statement on why you are excited to come to Mississinawa.
Ladies first?
Yeah, let's start with Brody, since you were the first person I mentioned this evening.
Hi, my name is Brody Lefevre, and I'm excited to join the team at Northview Elementary.
Okay. Christopher.
All right, I am Chris Shively, and I am moving over to Mississinawa from Eastbrook, where I've been for close to 20 years, and looking forward to joining the team with all of the exciting and cutting-edge technology plans that you guys have in place.
Okay, Ben.
Ben Huntington here. I'm excited to join the Mississinawa tribe, especially being able to teach physics and engineering. It's like a dream job. So thank you.
Thanks, all three of you. I am so excited and I'm thankful for the process that you were willing to go through to secure these jobs. And you do not have to stay on the rest of the meeting. We look forward to meeting you in person.
She never tells me that, but congratulations, Brody, Chris, and Ben. I've worked with Mississinawa Schools. This is my 40th year, and it's a great place to be. It's a great community. I think you'll have a great experience, and I'm sure you'll be very effective in working with our students and with your colleagues, our staff. So congratulations.
Congratulations to all of you. Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No.
Yeah, you might want to stay as quiet. It's really entertaining TV if you go.
If you don't have Netflix or
So, you guys, anything else you would like to say, or not? We're going back with our meeting then, okay? All right, we'll move on then. 101, facility report.
Yeah, we provided in your packet the summer maintenance plan for 2021, the projects. There's nothing new there, but as we go along, we replace estimates with actual costs that have been confirmed. So if you would, I'll just come back to that if you've got any questions. And Ted, you got anything under facilities that you wanted to share?
We had a closed loop leak at the high school. That's for the boiler and the chiller. It's a two-pipe system. So it's original piping inside the building that comes back to the chiller or boiler. One of the fittings, original fittings, was leaking, so we got that fixed and it's back up running. So we're in good shape there.
Have we started any of the summer projects yet?
We started Northview Gym. They started over our spring break to evacuate the refrigerant out of the air conditioning unit and ran some copper lines to the air handler and back down to where the condenser is going to be sitting.
So the HVAC at the gym has started.
Anybody got any questions?
Any questions on the plan that was provided in your packet and the cost?
Appreciate the color coding in that to help us do all that too. It makes it nice. It makes it easy to follow.
And there's not an elementary teacher in that office, but somehow we came up with that. I have to give credit to Mrs. Wilson on that.
Yeah.
She's lived with an elementary person all these years. It must have rubbed off. I did notice that some of the prices were just a little bit higher than what we expected, but I'm hearing, not that I have a lot of conversations with the construction world, but I'm hearing that prices are higher. I don't know if that's because of COVID and everybody kind of put a lot of things on hold in the past year, and now there's a big jump into demand for those kinds of resources and projects. I would say, I told you just a little bit ago that we've gotten notice of our new money for COVID relief. Our application's already been approved for the second round, and we got notice last week of the amount we're going to get in the third round. And I'm sure the team will be working on a plan for that, and probably won't see the application for a month or two. I guess I'm just guessing with that. But because, we got our plan approved for the second round of COVID monies, we were holding off on making commitments with vendors and construction personnel till we knew we were really close to having the money. And so now we know, but it is April, mid-April, and a lot of those construction companies and vendors are already going to be tied up for the summer in a lot of cases. So I don't know. I'm just trying to tell you that we probably won't get all that plan in. I'm almost certain we won't get all that plan implemented this summer, but I think you have another year at least for that second round to get that implemented. So
2023.
there you go. My conscience.
Well, the think tank that was at McDonald's has moved out to Hardee's, and they told me that the OSB board went from $7 a sheet to about $27 a sheet. So yeah, I'd say it's escalated. So, thank you. Anybody questions?
Any other questions or comments about busy summer?
I wanted to just comment on all the different wraps that are being done, like, of course, I don't know, being a girly girl, the whole prettying that things up, but for having older buildings, I think that just adds a nice touch. And I know it's money, but I think it's money well spent for us to be proud of our buildings. So
Sure.
they look really nice.
No pun intended, but it's nice window dressing. Right? Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay, move down to 102 legislative update. I'm sure Chris got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to talk about, and still, I waited to send this as late as I felt like I could, so that Pam wouldn't try and hunt me down, because she's got to post it on Google Drive. So, because Friday there was reports, and then 19th, and tomorrow's the last day. So no matter what happens, other than redistricting, which that's a whole nother story if you want to know about redistricting, they've somehow suspended that, so they will reconvene after the summer, the legislative session, just to talk about redistricting because of the census issues. But anyway, big news is this week, and is the revenue forecast for 2021 through 2023 from the State Budget Committee. That the good news is that the state projected nearly $2 billion more in revenue available over the next 2 years. So you factor that into the budget and ensure funding and everything else, that if they were ever looking at an opportunity to be able to look at being able to support teacher salaries or specific things with tuition reimbursement, this would be the time to do it in this budget cycle. So, and probably some of the reasons for that are the inflation rates that are happening. We mentioned COVID earlier and what that's doing to prices and how that's affecting things. That's also going to come in on the tail end for education. So anyway, those are that probably I saw increases that were in the budget that were proposed, and there's a PowerPoint. I think I emailed that out, but it has a plan to where funds, that's the plan for the budget anyway. So Pam saved all the bills that are left to be tracked. So that's in your Google Drive if you want to look at it. I'm not going to take obviously all the time to go through that, but I did want to highlight some. Senate Bill 54, and this is the FAFSA awards. So we have the opportunity as a corporation for the completion rate of FAFSA. So if our rate of individuals who apply for FAFSA increases, we'll have the opportunity to be able to get funds for that. Look at it like a bonus that they talked about. School buildings, Senate Bill 358. There has been all kinds of jockeying on this bill, but basically the idea is that if you have an unused school building that either, and they changed this just recently, it used to be if There was a charter school or private school that wanted it. Now they've added to it the addition of universities to that as well for $1. So we need to make sure that if that we're using our buildings or we have a plan for that use. And I'm sure we'll get all kinds of updates on this that happens, but
The vote was pretty close, though.
it was very close. 28 to 21 was the vote. I have informally already contacted one of our legislators to express why we didn't think that was probably a good thing. I'm sure that's nice for private schools, and it's this whole thing again about public money and it going to support private education. But maybe we'll get lucky and the governor won't sign it. Anyway, they did make some alterations that made it less hurtful. But you can see that in the appointments for that. House Bill 1266, education, building, and transportation authorities. So the bill created a process administered by the Department of Education for the purpose of exploring potential opportunities to improve the efficiency of non-instructional school services. It rings of privatization of particular services. The IDOE is supposed to create a group to look and study that. I don't know what will end up coming from it, but it sounds like to me what they're trying to do is look at different things that corporations are doing and look at the idea of we can save money by pooling different things like transportation. And I don't know how they would work all that out. Again, that was the vote was 32 to 17 on that. They have to have a report provided no later than March 1st of 2022. Nothing's going to happen to it right now except it'll be studied. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. And I think that's it. You have a bunch that are all in there, the packet. The big one is the budget bill, of course. If you got any questions you want to know about, anything that happens, Terry with the ISBA and Tab's been really good about sharing stuff with us and with me too, that he hears from the rural group that he has of school board members and administrators sharing different things about bills that come up, too. So be interesting. $2 billion over the next 2 years to see what they do with teacher salaries and other things for education. Do you have any questions? I feel like I've droned on a lot longer.
No, you did a nice job.
You sure do.
Anyone have questions? I don't see everything I see. I don't really care for it, but we'll see how it plays out because I'm not sure it's except for the money. The money sounds good.
Yeah, it's an increase. It's just that it could be so much more if you weren't channeling that to private schools, and that's the thing that's worrisome for I think for us in public education.
Anybody else have any comments or anything? Danny, do you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, then we'll move on then to corporate sponsors.
Yes, we have the following donations for the board's consideration this evening. From Tech Point Foundation Incorporated to Northview Robotics in the amount of $200. From Needham Story Funeral Home to the After Prom in the amount of $75. And from Nicholson Realty to the After Prom in the amount of $50. And we would recommend approval of these donations as presented this evening.
What's the board's pleasure?
Mr. President,
Ms. Miller.
I'll make a motion that we approve the corporate sponsors, donations, and gifts as presented.
Okay. Anybody second? I'll second. Jared? Okay, I got a motion made by Susan Miller, seconded by Jared Richard. Corporate sponsors donations. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Jenny?
Aye.
Takes a long time to get to Tennessee. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, claims. Ms. Townsend?
Yes, tonight we have claims totaling $1,229,801.87 for your approval, please.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
make a motion to approve the claims as presented, please.
Second?
I'll second.
Heard. Okay, on claims, got a motion made by Mr. Kraus, made second by Mr. Herrera. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Jenny? Okay, motion carried. Okay. Correspondence and other business, Mr. McKinney.
Yeah, I wrote down prom first, since we just heard about donations to the after prom. Tell us how the prom went, Mr.
Well,
Q.
prom went off very well. I don't really have this, just anecdotal data, but I feel like the kids were more excited and energetic and danced more than I've ever seen in my 15 years as administrator. Now, my wife says it's because they didn't have prom last year and they were like saving up their boogie or something. But the kids were, again, there was a lot of participation, a lot of excitement. The after prom went off without a hitch. Mrs. Resch and Mr. Burbank were awesome. Mrs. Little and Miss Childs, our junior class sponsors were great. The junior class and their parents really put on a great prom. So we're happy that it's complete, it's over, but it was very, very nice.
So those masks create a little intrigue and excitement.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Well, thank you. The other thing is that we have an executive session following tonight's meeting. And the next board meeting will be held on May 3rd right here. And the second meeting in May is May 17th. And there'll be an executive session prior to that meeting. That's the annual meeting with the MTA to discuss teacher observation evaluations. So that will be at 5:45 on May 17th. And that's all I have.
I do not have anything.
Any of the other administrators have anything for the board? That's all we have.
Anybody from the board? Yeah, Ted, I watched this on TV. Carmel had a bus day, and they had people come out and they set up a course, and you had to see that, and to try to recruit bus drivers and stuff. So give them an opportunity to go. So you know about that, I'll let that go.
He mentions that to me every day.
So I know you got a lot of stuff.
I said, I am not subbing and I'm not doing it right now.
Well, it got plenty of interest, and I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
An opportunity for people that, think they can't do it. And a lot of ladies may not think, but we have quite a few lady bus drivers that's not true.
So good. For quite a while now.
Yeah, it's a great secondhand job if you really, I think, and my wife, because you're in school.
I'll talk to Teresa about it.
I guess what you do.
Keep them busy.
And then, one thing I like to take chances, they opened up the gold cards again. And I had several people ask me, I contacted them, and the people there's people that came the other night, and that's very appreciative. And some of the retired people are, they're old enough that sometimes their income don't keep up with the cost, and they just weren't coming. And so it's another thing with the school system we do is to get that, people go, retirees go and come, and they were excited about it, and I really appreciate Chance and everybody that's involved with that. Something we do real nice. So anybody else got anything?
Well, just along those same lines, I had a couple of parents contact me. They've got 5 kids and they're going to the ball game, so, I mean, they're having to take out a loan when there's 3 ball games a week. And so I told them to contact Chance, and maybe there's something they could, do when they've got that many that are going to come to a sporting event versus having to pay individually for each of them.
Yeah, so someone stopped me today and said the very same about the gold cards, that was, trying to go to 2 of them, it's $12, and they do it 3 times a week. It's quite a bit when you're on fixed income, so it's a nice gesture by our school system. So, anyone else? Okay, 106 adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion made by Connor, second by Chris Cunningham. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Denny, oh, sorry, Denny. You don't have a face up, or you got the checkerboard up.
Got the orange and white.
So, okay, most opposed, motion carries. We officially adjourned. Let's take about 5 minutes. Is that okay then, everybody?
Yeah.